what's it gonna be first? Why ain't you working again? What's going on? What's going on? The first arrival. I wonder if that person is eating as well. Good morning, good morning. What's going on, fellas? Jason, speaking of the baby, I just handballed the baby to the wife. She was out for a couple of hours this morning. Just handballed the baby to her, and I can eat some food and do my thing. But the baby's going good. It's good. It's just, you know, a whole lot of you go, I go type of offense. You go, I go type of offense. She does something for it, then I do something. And then once I finish training, I take the baby over, she does something. And it's kind of like that. You know, baby needs attention 24/7. Hey man, if I could eat watermelon every day, I would. It's just later part of the year, like it's, you know, the watermelon is not good. But like, you know, summertime, like it is in Australia, beautiful. This morning, zero appetite. Woke up, zero appetite. So I've got one of these babies, mango. I've got some grapes that are looking like they want to die. I'll just eat a watermelon that's on the way to the casket as well. I'm eating everything that the fam doesn't want to eat. So this watermelon is, it's kind of soft, but it's got nice bits in it still. So why do we eat watermelon? It's the best, man. Refreshing, hydrating. It's the best. I love it. You leave it in the fridge. When you eat it, it feels like it's ice cream. So refreshing. Love it. Load up on this and then I'll go train. Watermelon and chicken. Never tried that, man. That kind of sounds concerning. Can you guys even see what I'm working with here? Look at this watermelon. Just chilling out. Oh, man. So, when I wake up like this and I literally have no appetite for anything, like I can't eat anything. I just feel like, just load up on fruit. Look at that. It's good stuff. Interestingly enough, my lower back and my calves feel pretty good. So, yeah, I don't know what happened the other day when I first did the 180 for 8, or the second time I did it. Don't know. My calves didn't go crazy this time around. My lower back did. My lower back felt like it was on fire, proper muscular failure. I was feeling it letting go, letting go, letting go. I probably could have got another rep, but would have been very risky stuff. So I called it at 9, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Since then, like I feel fatigue in the lower back even today, but it's not like it's sore or anything. It's just I don't feel strong. $15 kg cut today. Damn, it's a lot of weight. How long do you think that's gonna take? Yeah, I've never tried eating the skin. But I'm sure it wouldn't hurt. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt. What have you got? How heavy are you right now? McGuire, 97. I reckon I've seen some of your videos, man. You're tall as well, so you're probably over 100 and something. Oh, That right there goes to show you how videos like don't give you the feeling of how big somebody is. You're a big dude, man. You look very tall. How tall are you? I know you move some very good weight around. "6'2". Yeah, you're a big dude. Big people move big weight. Simple as that, man. It's simple as that. I know mango, a lot of people talk about how to eat it properly. I don't know. I find this is like the easiest way to eat it. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I don't like mango purely because it's kind of stringy. It always gets into my teeth, and it's tasty as hell though, but it gets into your teeth, and yeah, I don't know. So I already feel something's going in. Strength old school. All is well, man. How are you? Yeah, that's the thing with big weight, man. Like I'm nowhere near your body weight, but I remember the highest I ever got to was 103. I reckon 103 and a half kilos, something like that. It didn't feel good, man. I don't know. Like I just felt heavy. It's so weird, man. Like I think when you put on a lot of weight quickly, it feels shit always. So right now I'm like at 100, 101 some days. A lot better, man. A lot better. It's not even about the aesthetics. It's just about how you feel, you know. I'm sure over time, if you allow the body to adapt and you put on the size properly, you know, when guys put, like when I put on a lot of weight, let's say in 6 months I put on 5 kilos or 3 kilos, this feels shit, man. Like I don't know. I think most of that is because you're unhealthier. You know, you can't put 5 kilos of muscle on in a year. So a majority of that 5 kilos has to be just the weight we don't want. And your body probably senses that and makes you feel shit. Ivane, kako je? Sve super ovdje. Mango is good. I just opened the fridge, saw this thing dying. The mango looked like it was also kind of dying. Check it out. It was got like bruising everywhere, and I thought, well, this is about to die. So, you know, dads always eat the shit that nobody wants. So I thought, okay, I'll eat that. I'll eat this. The grapes look like they're about to be dead as well. If you can see that, they're all squished and whatever. So I'll eat that too. Freaking either that or it goes in the bin today. So I'll just eat all the shit nobody else wants. Although the mango is pretty good. You know, sometimes I reckon they make a mistake because they're like, oh, this looks shit. But when fruit gets like this, it's probably the best. You know, it gets a little bit softer and whatever. Like if you eat the mango and it's hard, I mean, that's not a mango, man. That's like baby mango. This is like, you know, prime time mango, man. 30-year-old mango ready to go, you know. Averaging 30 points a game and making the first team defensive, all defensive. This is the shit, man. You know, you don't want a rookie muffin running around. You want a guy that's, you know, ready to make some plays. And this is what this mango is. All right. Miz. The legend of Miz has arrived. How you going, man? Glad to have you back. Man, if I was 150 kilos... You know, I'll tell you something, man. I never imagined myself to be 100 kilos. You gotta remember, man, I played basketball back in the day, right? So, me at 100 kilos playing basketball is not a pretty sight. I can't run, no conditioning. I couldn't play the way I used to play. I used to pick up guys full court and, like, you know, make them turn 4 or 5 times before they crossed the half court. Was very, very fit, very fast on my feet. I could shoot the ball. You know, that was my thing, endurance, like, you know, athletic part of the sport. I wasn't the most skilled dribbler or whatever, but like I made up for effort on defense, right? And so for that, you know, a guy that's 6 feet, 6'1", you need to be 80 kilos. You need to be tops 90 kilos, and you need to be a fit 90 kilos. I'm probably 15 kilos overweight for basketball, right? Like, you know, you can't maintain that intensity. You know, for me to be 100 kilos, 105 kilos, I gotta be in the post. And what am I gonna do in the post at 6 feet? So never thought I was ever gonna get to 100 kilos. Never thought I'd be squatting 180 kilos for almost a damn set of 10. It's just a completely different version of Ivan. Like, I never thought I was gonna get that. So to think 150, oh my goodness. I don't even know how that feels, man. I'd probably way, way stronger. I would feel very, very strong. But that strength would only be exhibited 1 hour a day. The other freaking 23, I'd probably feel like shit. I must say, it would be pretty cool to feel that strength. But the majority of life would be kind of heavy. Yeah, it would be tough. The mango is all gains, you bet. It's good shit. You know, when I eat mango, I don't even try to chew it. Like I said, all the strings get in my teeth. So I just try to compress it with my tongue, with the roof of the mouth, and just swallow it straight. I don't like messing around with the teeth, man. It always gets in, like I said. It's annoying. I have to floss after this anyway. I should fight Conor McGregor. Dude, who's Conor McGregor? I'll knock him out in the first round. Let's be realistic. You know what I always find funny? So I'm not a fighter, right? So if you and I got into a scrap, like if we started boxing, I'll probably be blinking a lot. You know, doing this sort of shit, like blink, 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 blink. Real fighters, the fighters that have been kind of fighting for a long, long time, they're getting punched in the eye like this. And they're still watching you, right? That's like a learned thing. Whereas a natural instinct for everybody is, oh my God, I'm getting punched in the face. Do this. But when you're doing this sort of stuff, you can't see. You don't know where the next punch is coming from, and then you get knocked out. So you can't fight. Like, if you're a rookie, you can't fight somebody that's been fighting for 10 years. It's impossible. So like Conor McGregor, dude, no way. It's like Michael Jordan playing against a toddler. What weight is good for 6'3"? I don't know. It depends. Like, if I was 6'3" and I was building up like an athlete for basketball, you know, 95 kilos, 90 kilos, in that range. That's if you want to be athletic. If you want to be a strong dude and lift lots and lots of weight, you probably have to be over 100 to fill that frame, probably 110, something like that. Something that I'm kind of working towards, 105 or something like that. It just depends what sort of athlete you're building. Remember, like if you're building a warrior, you need different attributes than if you're building a mage. You can't be, you know, firing on all cylinders for every situation. I don't know, Ryan. The interesting thing is about you know, once you get over like 30 and go beyond in age, your bones get heavier. So there's more like bone density and stuff like that. You know, like old man strength. People always talk about it. So me at 20 years old being 90 kilos is probably equivalent to me being, I don't know, 95. Hey Steve-O, how's it going, man? It's probably me equivalent being 95 to 97 kilos at 35 years old. So for me to go back to 90 kilos, I would be very, very skinny. Much more skinnier than I was when I was 20 at 90 kilos, if that makes any sense. Bone density is a huge, huge component of weight. We've got a lot of bones in our body. So when you're strength training as well, it's, yeah, I don't think I'll ever see 90 kilos ever again. Oh man, it's how messy mangoes are. I gotta touch it and I gotta wash my hands after this. That's the thing. Well, that's what I like about watermelon. It's like surgical incisions, you know? Yeah. In terms of strength, Big Maguire 97, man, I agree with you. 40. It depends on the training age. Like if you start lifting at 15, you're probably gonna wear out before you hit 40. But I started, you know, properly training at 25. You know, so I'm a late bloomer to the game. So, I mean, it's taken me damn 10 years to get to a level where I feel like I understand my body. It's taken me 5 years to work out the damn hip pain. 5 years. It's freaking embarrassing. Well, it's embarrassing, but at the same time, I'm like, well, maybe that's what it takes to really kind of understand how your body ticks. Because like, you see 100 people talk about all sorts of different things, and then you try all sorts of different things, and it takes you a little while to kind of work out what my body needs. So I feel like now I'm kind of getting the hang of it. You know, these last few weeks have been amazing. I feel like I'm getting more and more frequent in these amazing periods because I'm getting more and more closer to kind of working out what I need to do on a daily basis to keep the hip pain away. And the hip pain is probably my anatomical thing that I've kind of had to work out for myself. And then it's kind of like the bench press and the elbows. If I want to bench press like a madman and put on all these gains, there's certain things I have to do. Bench press alone is not going to work. There's a whole host of different things that I need to be able to do. You know, and I've discovered these exercises in the last 4 months. And I know, okay, for the next couple of months, I'm training the bench press hard. Okay, I need to do these things. No matter how much you want to just bench press all the time, it's not going to work. You're going to get injured. You're going to get stuck. You're going to get screwed. So you have to do these things. And once you do these things, then you can bench press. And ultimately, the bench press repetitions, it's what gives you the gains. But in order for you to stay healthy with those repetitions on the bench press, you got to do these things. And I feel like I've kind of worked out for the bench press as well. So with the fall and foe, oh my God, thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate that, dude. How much has being a nurse helped your fitness training? A lot. A lot. I can tell you, man. When you have a grounding in medicine or in nursing or some sort of health profession, maybe radiography or physio or pharmacy or allied health like OT or whatever, whenever you have an understanding, and obviously medicine, like being a doctor, is at the top of that list, but all of these other ones, you kind of have intuition how the body works. And so like terminology, you guys always get surprised about my knowledge of the human body and anatomy and or whatever, but like that's kind of my game. Like that's the language I use at work. So when somebody talks about hip internal rotation, I'm like, that makes sense. It's automatic. It's not like I'm a engineer over here, petroleum engineering, and I'm like, internal rotation of the femur, what's the femur, where's the head? So it's kind of like it comes easy. And then obviously a lot of principles, let's say with the liver or the kidneys, they're kind of like once you understand the mechanism of one organ, that kind of intuition carries over to other things, right? You kind of start to understand, training volume, training intensity, training thresholds. What's a threshold? What does that truly mean? Well, in medicine, there's a very, 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 very closely kept equilibrium in the body. There's very, very fine margins of the blood, right? Your pH is 7.35 to 7.45. So what happens when you get to 7.1? Well, most cases you die. Oh shit, but that's not far away from 7.35. Yeah, man, that's how particular we are. So if you overcook it, basically we have like in research rooms and whatever, like once you take somebody's arterial gas or venous gas, and that gas comes back, a blood test, comes back, I'm calling it a gas. Some of you guys might know what that means. But if that gas comes back and you have somebody on the table unconscious or whatever, and their pH is like less than 7, most of the time, like it's 99% mortality. Like that person is not going to survive. And they might survive the day, but they're not going to survive the week in most circumstances. And I learned that very, very early on. Okay, so 0.3 on the pH, death. Okay, so now you have an intuition. Or what about the sodium level, 135 to 145? Why is that so specific as well? What happens when the sodium drops to 115? That's an automatic ICU admission. But why is that? Well, you start seizing. If you seize, you can like basically cook yourself completely. You can die. Your brain can just go into a constant seizure state and you die. Okay, so damn. So that's multiple different things I've just said that are very, very specific. Very specific. And so when it comes to training, I have an intuition. Okay, 5 sets of 5 is the agreed upon, let's say, threshold for where you want to be. But not 5 sets of 5 at 40%. No, 5 sets of 5 at 80% is where you want to be. So that's the right dose, training dose. And I have that intuition. It's like, oh, somebody would want to do 10 sets of 5. Cool, man. But that's like sending your pH to 7.8. Do you want to be there? I don't know. Because people die over here, people die over here. What makes you think the training volume is going to be any different? What makes you think that your kidneys and your liver is going to be able to process that stimulus? Because I have so much experience with the body in all these different areas. I can go on and on about many different other things about the body. It's very, very particular. So when you train, you're using the same body, the same medical ideas, right? So if I finished a training session today and I did a pig score routine and I killed myself and I took my gas in that moment, what's the lactate going to be? What's the creatinine going to be? What's the CK going to be? Creatine kinase. Okay, so these are all metabolic stresses. How is the body going to clear all of that crap? How is the body going to clear all this disruption you've created from going through a pig squat routine? Shit. So when you are huffing and puffing and you are killing your body in the gym, there are things happening at the cellular level and at the blood level which needs to be corrected over the following days for you to come back and do it again. Or is the adaptation going to happen? So all of these things make more sense to me when I read somebody's training program. I'm like, okay, so that's a shit ton of workload. I know what 80% feels like. This guy wants me to do 10 sets of 5. And then I'm thinking to myself, shit, can my body take it? And whether you're a hard ass or not, or whatever the case might be, you need to understand that there is some biology happening in the background that you can't, is just the laws of freaking nature, man. Like, you can't do it. But this is where we enter the realm of enhancing the body's ability to process some of this stuff through drugs, right? So when you throw that into the mix, okay, so that person that's on the bed right now with a pH of 6.9, after a cardiac arrest, after, let's say, 5 minutes downtime of no circulation in the body, they've collapsed at the shopping center, no one did any CPR, or they did CPR for 5 minutes, and then they got ROSC, or return of spontaneous circulation. They got him back, they put him back in the ambulance, boom, TED, he's in front of Ivan and the rest of the team, withdrawing bloods, pH of 6.9. That's a bad state to be in. Regardless if we got him back or not, that probably person's going to die, right? So what do we do with that? Oh, we can give him some bicarbonate. Okay, inject the bicarbonate through. It's a drug, right? It's a research room. So we pump these people we enhance them, right? We're throwing all these drugs on board. We're giving them all this stuff, adrenaline, all this stuff. And so we start to alter some of the mechanisms within the body. We're trying to assist the body to process this waste and process back to normality, right? So it gets trickier there. But most people like you and I, we're not doing this stuff. We don't have a whole freaking hospital behind us to guide us through every training session. So this is where it gets really, really tricky. And so, long ass freaking winded answer to tell you, man. But this is why I think health helps you when you're training, because you have that intuition, deep down understanding of how the body runs. And you've seen many, many people from all sorts of extremes when it comes to some of these variables. Blood results, or you name it. Hope that makes sense, man. Why has this stopped? Oh shit. Let me give you a like on that, man. Thank you, dude. Thank you for the support. Pleasure, man. Pleasure to talk about some of these things. Rhabdomyolysis, yeah, I've seen a fair few of those. Appreciate that, Fallen Foe. Extremist diets like carnivore. Is that mango? Yeah, that is a mango, Sam. Do we charge in ED? No. I'm in the public system. Miz, thank you so much, dude. Why is the barbell the best tool for mental therapy? That's a good question. Number one, the first thing that comes to my mind right away is that the barbell is a great listener. It's a great listener. And every day you rock up, doesn't talk back to you at all, but he communicates with you. This is going to sound like I'm freaking lost my mind completely, but a lot of you guys will understand. Sometimes I have the worst freaking times in life, in work or whatever, and then I have a squat session, a barbell session or whatever, and it's not the barbell, but it's that space around the barbell that communicates with me. Whatever you go through gets belittled by the barbell. What do I mean by that? Okay, you got really upset at work, Mrs. left you, or whatever the case might be. It's psychological stress. It's emotional stress when you get upset like that, right? But then you put that barbell on your back and you take that thing for a ride at a meaningful loading, and all of a sudden, shit becomes clear. That psychological and emotional pain that you're feeling seems to maybe not disappear, but seems to lessen, because now you have physical pain. And something that I want to tell you about that, like in all my years of working in ED, man, I've seen a lot of mental health, man. A lot of people come in suicidal. Some people have tried suicide and they come to ED after that attempt. Lots of sad people around the place. And I've seen lots of people harm themselves. Not in an attempt to kill themselves, but just like minor cuts. So they'll get a knife like this and they'll try and cut themselves. And so I've seen people like with the trillion freaking cuts over the years, scars all over their body, through here, down the thighs and all that. And initially when I saw that, I was like, that's really weird. Why would you want to hurt yourself like that? And then once you speak to these people, a lot of these people, they're not crazy, right? They just want to feel pain, which makes them then feel better. It's really weird. Like, it's a real concept. But when you see these one person, then you see a second person, and after 15 years of nursing, you've seen hundreds of these people who are harming themselves, not to kill themselves, but to harm themselves and relieve some of that emotional, psychological pain. And you're like, how the hell does that make sense? And then one day it clicked. I do the same thing, just with the barbell. I don't cut myself. I don't burn myself. I don't do these crazy things to myself. But I put 180 kilos on my back and I took that shit for a ride for 9. Am I too different from them? Am I too different from that person that's cutting themselves? They're addicted to that pain, that sharp slicing pain, going through their flesh. And I'm addicted to that systemic onslaught of pain, discomfort. Am I too different? That guy that's running the marathon in agony, pushing hard, the David Goggins of the world, that kind of stuff. Are they too different? Are we too different from these guys? Now, we have let's say, a more healthier approach to this stuff, because our stuff then makes the body stronger. They do things that makes the body weaker in a way. But we all need physical discomfort, physical pain to make the emotional, psychological stuff feel all right. It's weird, isn't it? Pain is good. It's kind of like when you see, you're having a bad day and you see somebody else have a worse day, having a really, really bad day, it makes you kind of feel all right because somebody else is having a worse day than you. Now, two bads don't make a right, but shit, man, that guy's really having a bad day. My bad day is not as bad. It's that kind of thing. You feel really shit, no worries. Squat and see your quads burning to hell and back. See what happens. It's one of those things. Endorphins, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that. The more pain you feel, the better you feel. It's weird, man. Yeah, a macho. That's spot on. The more painful the session, the better you feel afterwards. It has to make sense. It's almost like ice baths give you relief after. Yeah, right, ice baths. You go in, you feel horrible in that moment, but then you feel great afterwards. Too much pain will destroy you. Absolutely. If you cut too deep, you might die. Oh, shit. See, right now, see this mango right now? What do I do with this now? Sink my teeth in and get all the strings in my freaking teeth, and then I have to floss for like 20 minutes to get all the shit out. Hate it, man. This is why I love mango, man, but man, it screws you over, man. It screws you over, and it's slippery. You can freaking cut yourself. Really, it's made for teeth to go in now, but I ain't doing it, man. I don't want to be flossing for 20 minutes, getting all the shit out. Pisses me off, mango, man. Shit. Yeah, but I don't have the heart to throw it away like this. Hell no. So here I am. I'll probably end up freaking flossing. It always gets me. I always have these conversations in my mind. The hell do you do with the mango now? It doesn't like getting cut when you're really close to the seed. Look at this. It's just telling me, come on, sink your teeth in. Come on. Why don't you do it, man? Come on. And then through the whole freaking squat session, I'm there like, yeah, I ain't doing it, man. I ain't doing it. For the rest of the freaking day, I'm there like digging shit out of my mouth. Oh, these are really fine. Now my hands are screwed. Damn, you screwed your knee up pretty good, huh? Oh, BJJ, damn. Some guy messed you up, huh? You're at the mercy of the other guy when you're doing BJJ. That's why I don't like it, man. I don't like the lack of control. If he goes too hard, there goes your knee. Okay. Yeah, accidents happen, I guess, even in basketball, I guess. I'll take it slow, man. Take it slow. I don't know. It depends on... Damn, okay. So I don't know where it just got you like that. There's meniscus tears and there's meniscus tears, man. Just like try and ease back into it, work out how severe it is, and go from there. Do as much as you can that's pain-free. That's what I always tell people. Don't work through too much pain. Why is the wall wood? Is that what you're asking? Why is the back of me wood? Full of fruit. I mean, we bought this house 3 years ago. We spent a bunch of money on the kitchen and the laundry and whatever. There's lots of the house is not done. We never touched this room other than put floating floorboards in. So my missus doesn't like the wall either. It's just we don't have the funds right now. Like these old houses, they have. That's lots of work you could be doing, but I'm not a millionaire. Australia's expensive, man. Really expensive. The mortgage, the interest rate's going through the roof. People are struggling. I think the homelessness is never been worse. But it's like lots of part of the world are like that now. Rotator cuff pain from squatting. Nah, man. I don't have trouble with my arms when I squat because I squat high bar. The weight is resting on my back. Very, very, very minimal force going through my hands. Very minimal. But when you go low bar, you start copping it in the elbows, in your wrists, in your shoulders. You start really, really copping it hard, man. So if you got problems with your elbows, rotator cuff, man, go high bar. That's what I would recommend to you. If you're not a power lifter, man, I would say to you, what the hell are you doing low bar squatting? Straight up. What are you doing? If you're powerlifting, I understand. You're trying to get the numbers and whatever, but if you are not a power lifter, oh, you do squat high bar. Okay, well, damn, that's weird. I wonder what that's happening for you. I don't know what's happening there. Previous injury maybe, or maybe you have like a really, really close freaking grip on the bar. Like maybe you go wider. I don't know. But it's unusual to have people hurt themselves in the upper body, like arms, when they squat. Yeah. The big guys, they squat with their freaking arms straight out. Because their shoulders are so jacked up and tight, and the pecs can't, the pecs don't allow them. I don't know. Are you a really, really big guy? If you're a big guy, then, maybe you just don't have it. But I feel like most people should have the freaking mobility of the shoulder to like do this. Like, you know, this is not a lot of range of motion, man. Like, you know, like it's not like you're trying to squat with your arms up like this, like an overhead squat. 99% of the world can't do that. Yeah. Yeah, usually big guys don't have the range. Yeah. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it, man. I mean, the rotator, the internal rotation of the shoulders, think about it. What internally rotates your shoulder? If you just do this, you'll feel them. Pec and lats. Lats internally rotate your shoulder as well. So tight pecs, tight lats. Lats are really weird. People don't think they internally rotate their shoulders, but if you look at the insertion point of the lat, it actually does contribute to internal rotation. So stretch your lats. You know, you can stretch them like, you know, grab something and push down, and then spread your arms. The fold and fold. Yeah, the PayPal is set up. Oh, thank you, man. Man, you're hooking me up today, man. Appreciate that. The support is next level from you, man. Means a lot. I use a figure 8 strap for a ghetto safety squat bar. Help my shoulders. Ah, right. Yeah. Yeah. You can do lots of different things. Actually, you know, the safety squat bar is something that I keep walking by every single day. And I'm like, damn, I want to be doing that. It feels so good. Like, it's amazing. And I think partly is because I feel like I can engage my lats more. And then when I engage my lats, when my hands are in front of me, I feel like I can just clench down my upper back a lot better. And I feel like I'm stronger with it. Even though the positioning is so high up my freaking back. And theoretically, I should be weaker with it. But I'd gladly trade the bar sitting a little higher on my neck. Trade that, you know, with arms being down so I can clench down. I feel like I'm overall net stronger. But yeah, man, the SSB is an amazing bar. Amazing. Right now, I'm in a crazy period of squatting with a straight bar, so you know it's kind of fallen out of rotation. But I'll get back to it. That's for sure. Oh, you're 85 kilos. Well, that doesn't make sense. Why you're so jacked up like that? AH93704. I'm good, man. I am good. What's happening, boys? Do you do any core work? Could that be a weak point for squats? Man, I've tried a lot of different things, man. If you follow the channel for any amount of time, man, you would have known that I've basically, this whole journey was a quest to find it. And what is it? The exercise. To find the exercise which is going to make squatting easier without having to squat, or to synergistically help it. I've tried lots of different core work. Everything kind of helps a little bit for a little while. But nothing helps like actually squatting the bar. That's one thing that I've worked out, and it's weird as hell. I've kind of come down to a decision that any time I get a lower back pump, I'm going in the right direction. The workout is great. It's going to carry over. Anything. So when I do squats for high reps, lower back pump. When I do deadlifts for some good volume, lower back pump. RDLs, back pump. Block pulls, back pump. Overhead squats, back pump. So anything that hits the lower back, and when I say lower back, I mean lower back, because then you're taxing that whole pelvic lower back thigh region, that posterior chain. The lower back is usually something that gets fried first for me. So if that's getting fried, that means I'm kind of using the right area. And so if I'm using that area, I'm probably going to have success. It's going to probably carry over. But doing things like sit-ups, like specific dead bug variations or whatever, that's all well and good. You know, it's like using bands. I saw one of the boys send me a post on Instagram, and they were like, check this out. And the guy basically, it's like a reel or whatever you want to call it. And he goes, you know, there's like it's like a meme. It's like a guy showing a face, a funny face, in response to somebody saying you can use bands, fire hydrants, clamshells, all this fancy stuff to get to a really impressive squat. All of that is okay, but you can't replace it with the real shit, you know. And sometimes, you know, I've been there, you get caught up on some of these easier exercises. Let me just lay down on the ground for a little bit and wave my legs around for 30 minutes in every which way direction, and then when I stand up, I'll be a monster squatter. No, it's not specific enough. It doesn't carry over. It might do something else for you, but you're wasting your training energy and time if you think that that's going to be the bulk of your success. You need to be doing things that are actually relevant. And over my time, like, you know, I love training, don't get me wrong. Like, I love training, I love doing it, but I don't have a limited amount of time. You know, I have like an hour and a half, maybe two, some days to train. And I want to, as soon as that clock starts, I want to be doing shit that's making the whole thing better. That's making me squat better, feel better. It's not even about, like, this is the thing. It's not even about me getting to 300 kilo squats. It's just, for such a long time, I've had this goal just to feel no pain. You know, like, I've pushed through so much pain, so much freaking trouble with the damn squat and the hip, that I'm just feeling high right now because there is no pain. Boys, let me come back in 2 seconds, man. My hands are sticky. Hate it. Wash my damn face from this mango. I'll be back in 2 seconds. How good is fruit? Fruit is so good. Like, I don't even need to use soap or anything. I just, running water will get everything, all the stickiness off. It's the definition of water soluble nutrients. Whereas if you eat fatty stuff, you can't just running water get rid of all this stuff. Where am I? Where do I buy a vest? I don't understand what a vest is. Notice doing upper body warm up before squats allows me to squat better. Yeah, upper back work, there's something there. There's something about upper back work that feels better. Now, if you overdo the upper back work, it's gonna impact your squat negatively. I'm actively doing, you know, upper back lots of times a week, like 4 times a week. Rowing and some sort of like shoulder stuff I'm doing right now. I don't even know what I'm gonna do today. Probably like laterals, just to get the upper back region traps, and then rowing I did yesterday. But there's something about upper back, where the bar sits, the longest point, the furthest point away from where you're holding that fishing rod, that's your upper back. And so you strengthen that, you strengthen the whole fishing rod. That kind of effect. Yeah, I know, right? Freaking mangoes, man. The whole face gets annihilated. It's so hot today, man. I've got the window open and stuff, man, but it's stinking hot. Especially in this room, man. I always get cooked. Does Australia have superior fruit? I don't know. I don't think so. Wider grip. Zdravo, Lukas. Mangoes are a drug. Nah, I've got nothing here. No fan. We've got an air conditioner, like a ducted air conditioning here. But during summer, we don't spend a lot of time in this extension part of the house. It's just way too hot in here. There's lots of windows at the back. So it's great during winter. We kind of spend a lot of time in here during winter, but during summer, we're in the front of the house. Taller ceilings over there, and it's a lot better. Do I like Manti Spidey? I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. No idea. About none of that. Now, what was I gonna do? What is going on here? This is weird. Yeah. SSB good mornings. I tried. There was a whole block, I want to say middle of last year, where I was pushing it. I was doing sets of 10, I reckon. And I got to 140 kilos for a set of 10 good mornings. I reckon. Something like that. Something like that. You know, my favorite things to watch, I'm really weird. Maybe because I relate to it so much. Like I follow a couple of, ooh, what's this? Oh, that's interesting. Look at that, man. Fuck, what a monster that dude is. Check this out. Look at this dude. Actually, hold on. With the glare. Check out this squat, 300. Man. He looks like a big dude as well. But that 300 was a freaking no event. How sick is that? I'm trying to find something. Oh, did the Seeker boys talk about it? Yeah. I don't know how much that dude weighs. I've never seen that dude. I don't know who he is, but he looks like a... he looks like a freaking bear. Julian, that's really, really cool to hear, man. Thank you for that. You know, so Julian is not even crazy about lifting as much as me, but he sounds like he's a musician, and my journey has inspired him to do his thing more. And I think that's, that makes me happy to hear that. I don't I don't think a lot of people are crazy for the same thing. I'm sure there's a lot of us that love squatting. But there's a massive world out there. And I just feel like when you see somebody on their journey passionately, unapologetically chasing their goals and chasing their hobby, it inspires you to do your thing. It's like, cool, man, he's crazy about his stuff. He can do it. Why couldn't I do it? I remember when I was a younger, man, like people always say to me, oh, Ivan, watch when you have kids. Your life ends, you're gonna not have any time. Or you watch, man, when you get a serious girl in your life, or when you cross 30, your metabolism stops. Like there's all these like people that are just so negative about all different these different things. I've done all of these things and I'm still me, man. I'm still the same guy. Like I still chase. The people in my life, they understand who I am, and they understand what I like to do and how I like to spend my life. Like if these people truly care about me, they'll be like, all right, Ivan likes to squat every day. That's his thing. And if I give him that, then my life is going to be great because he's going to be happy and he's going to allow me to do my thing. It's like, when you meet somebody and you tell them straight up, I like to squat every single day. Okay, you're crazy. See ya. Bye. Catch you later. Eventually, you'll find somebody that's like, that's all right. No worries. I respect that. It's funny how like people have a problem with people going to the gym every day, but people don't have problem with people that smoke every day or take drugs every day. It's weird how that happens. It's like, some relationships break down over this gym thing. Like I hear it all the time. It's like, oh, I stopped going to the gym because my missus didn't let me. So you took up smoking instead, and she's accepting of that? The fuck is that, man? So she's happy for you to smoke and spend $5,000 of smokes on smokes every year, but she doesn't have a problem you going to the gym. That sounds like a toxic relationship. Why does she really know when you go to the gym? Because you might be good looking, attractive to more people. Like, what are we doing here? A lot of relationships I find are very toxic. I don't know. It's a crazy, heavy topic, but it's so weird. Like so much negativity, and I think that motivated me over the years. Like, oh, Ivan, you watch when you have a kid, you'll stop going to the gym. Really? I've got 3 now. I'm still waiting for that magical thing to happen to me, to all of a sudden have no time for anything. I've got time for all sorts of things. I make decisions every single day. I don't know. You know what? My favorite quote is, I'm going to paraphrase the shit out of it, but my favorite quote is, weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. That there's like a 4 or 5 lines of this kind of thing, but basically it makes the final conclusion is weak men make hard times. So if you're a weak man for whatever reason, you're going to make decisions that are going to make your life hard. You're probably going to be a little simp, little, boneless, backless freaking worm, and you're going to get into a relationship where you get abused, where you have no rights, where your needs are not met, and then you're going to come out on the other end 10, 15 years later, cry about it and be like, telling me how you watch your mom when you have kids, you'll stop training, you'll get fat, and your life is over. Okay, no worries. I appreciate your experience, but that's your experience. But when I met my missus, man, like, she knew who I was from day one. I didn't lie and cheat to get into her pants or whatever, just fake my way. No. First day, she knew exactly what's up. This is Ivan. This is what I'm about. If you don't like it, fine, move on. I think a lot of people get in all sorts of trouble because they're fake. They're fake people. And so, the other person falls in love with this fake facade of a human being, and then years down the track that act stops, and then the true person comes out, and then divorce or whatever else happens, I don't know. But these are the people that will give you advice like, oh, you watch Ivan, one day. So no, that doesn't happen, dude. If you're honest from day one and she really understands who you are from day one, my missus will never come in and be like, Ivan, you have to stop gym. Because she knows that if she said that to me, that's basically like, fucking, what are we doing here, man? Like, what are we doing? This is an utter need for my health, for my well-being. This is who I am. This is what I love. This is everything to me for my own self. Like when Ivan has 2 hours to himself, this is what Ivan does. I don't want to go drink at the pub with the boys. I don't want to go smoking. I don't want to go fishing. I don't want to go travel around the world and walk around through all these different places. No, I just want to be in a freaking dungeon with a freaking squat rack and squat. And in between those sets, I want to be sitting here processing the world around me and everything that's going on in the world. I like my alone time. And I don't like it alone just sitting and freaking not doing anything. For some reason, thoughts come to me very, very quickly when I'm in between sets of squats and deadlifts. I don't know what it is. It just becomes so good to me. And like, once I do that, she gives me the time to squat every day. After that, dude, no worries, man. I'll do so much for you. Give me the kid for 25 million hours in a row. Go do your stuff. This is my stuff. It's a give and take. It's a trade thing. Like any intelligent woman will understand that if I make him happy, he's going to make me happy. Doesn't that make sense? So you making somebody else unhappy is probably going to be reciprocated to you. It's like, I teach my kid this all the time. Treat others how you want to be treated. If you want to be treated with respect and feel good, it's contagious. Do it to them. Some people don't understand that, and they run around, and I don't know what God. Honestly, I don't understand how people get into these situations. I mean, situations evolve and whatever, but I get triggered when people say, "Oh, dude, I love the gym," and then I had to stop because of the missus. Fucking what? It is really sad, Julian. Yeah, spot on. Spot on. I feel sorry for people. I'll tell you straight up, man. I would rather die than live like a coward. Absolutely. I'll be one of those warriors that I would rather you slice my neck in battle than take me as prisoner. I ain't going. Yeah, this is the thing, like, I learned this from somewhere. I don't know where I learned it from my environment. Maybe my parents taught me this, but some people don't have the parents, and maybe they grow up and they're a little bit clueless how to actually live in life. This is the thing about schooling, man. They put you through 12 years of freaking education, and you come out, you don't know what the hell is going on. You don't know how to behave. You don't know how to be in relationships. You don't know how to find the right woman. You don't know how to find anything. You're just running around like headless chook. I guess parents should be filling that void, and school has a different role, maybe. But I appreciate a lot of people don't have the right upbringing. But I see it all way too often. People are just unhappy in their lives. They're being, I don't know. And then they complain and they try to project that negativity to other people. Oh, you watch Ivan. Once you have kids, your life stops. Really? Fucking really? The moment I had my son, I was like, fucking, it's go time, man. I've got a kid. There's a ticking time bomb. One day he's going to realize he's going to gain consciousness. And he's going to be looking at me. He's going to be like, Dad, you're a piece of shit. What have you done? I think about this all the time. Nah, man, I want him to sit there and be like, Dad, man, you're sick, man. I mean, I respect the shit out of you, man. You're strong. You're a real man. You got character. You got real men around you, real boys around you, man. You've got a life, man. That's the moment I had my son. I was like, all right, it's on. You know, I gotta achieve something in my life. But these people are telling me, oh, the moment you have kids, your life's over. Really? Man, the moment I saw my child in that hospital, dude, my had tears running down my face. I was sobbing. I haven't cried like that in my life. I saw him and I was like, fuck. God must be real. The very thought that came to my mind was like, oh my God, God is real. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. The overcome with emotions, and I was like, man, I'm going to make you proud one day, man. One day, you're a little guy right now, you don't know what the fuck is going on, other than where's the boob, and, you know, that's it. But, you know, as he's grown up, I'm like, man, I'm going to make you proud. You know, I had a really good dad as well. He was always around. I remember, like, he used to work at the factory. We came here as refugees in Australia. Work at the factory, come home. So work at the factory from 9 to 5. We were like here for the first 3-4 years doing this. I'm in primary school. He comes home, straight work, shower, quick feed, me and my brother in my car, straight back to the school where I spent the whole day. They had these like wonderful basketball courts. Sit there and we'd be like 2, maybe 3 hours every night if the weather permitted, if it wasn't too hot or whatever. Sit there and he's there passing me the ball, rebounding as I'm shooting hundreds of free throws. Hundreds of free throws. Man, this memory is in my mind. He did that for me. How many dads did that for other people? And so I see that and I'm like, man, he showed me the path. My dad is not a vocal person at all. He's a very, very quiet man. He's been through war and whatnot, all that stuff. He's a very quiet man, but he's a leader in the sense of how much he cared about us. Sometimes he was very, very strict, and sometimes he was, you know, all that stuff, you know, but that's leadership. Come on, son, let's go. Straight to the basketball court. You know, that's what I want. I want my dad, I want my kid to look at me like that. Man, dad is awesome. He was always there for me, and he's sick. Man, my dad squats 250. Sick. So how many more years do I have left until I can say to my son, I squatted 250? Because think about this. We just want to be better than our dads. Think about that. So there's like a burning desire, man. Like I remember my earliest memory. This is like around after the war in Yugoslavia. Man, I was like 5 years old before we came to Australia. 5-6 years old. I remember we lived in this apartment, first floor. So the ground in the first floor. We were on the first floor, and this building wasn't completed. And there was like this balcony. There was this balcony without railing. And so we would never be allowed to go out there. But he would sometimes go out there and I'd watch him from the ground floor, and he'd be doing pull-ups. And he would do like, I'm not kidding, he would do like 30, 40 pull-ups straight. And my dad was a skinny guy, man. He was a volleyballer. That was his sport. He played volleyball. And I'm watching him like, wow. Man, I used to see him like, man, my dad is Superman. Just banging these freaking reps out. You know, he was like 70 kilos, something like that, 60 kilos, 70 kilos. Wartime. He doesn't have a lot of food around. Biking everywhere, running. We come to Australia, man, like the third or fourth day we're here, he goes for a run around the park. I'm watching this man train. What are you training for? What are you training for? A man has to be fit and ready no matter what. That's how I grew up. And I want my son to like wake up one day and his consciousness is developing as he's going, and be like, you know what, Dad? I respect you. You know? And so if I get to a 250 squat one day at 40, so I've got 5 more years, my son's going to be 12 years old. Perfect. So when I hit peak, my oldest son is going to be 12 years old. And he's going to look at me, he's like, fuck, my dad squats to 250 or whatever the number is. And then Dad's going to like, I got to start training as well. So he's going to start looking. And then all of a sudden, I've grown a man. My son is a man. You know, I've molded him. Not me telling him go to squat. No, man. He's just watching his dad go about it. That's the power of children, and people don't understand that. And this guy telling me, oh, once you have kids, life's over. You've got it all wrong, my friend. You've got it all wrong. There's no better motivator in the world than your kids. Period. I don't care what anyone says to me. I'm living it. I've got kids. I know what it is. Oh shit! I missed the fallen four again. Oh, you've got an Evo 6. Oh, sick, dude. Thank you for the gift again, man. That is amazing. Evo 6s, man. That is a... Dude, that is a... I don't know how much it's worth, man, but it's... Evo 6s, they're special. Special. I mean, I've got an Evo 7, and we all know Evo 7s are kind of the least desired ones. I got it for real cheap, but I know there's a bunch of people that I've met that would love an Evo 6. What's that worth? At least 50, 60K? I don't know, I'm just throwing numbers out. I know mine here is now worth 30, 35K. Yours is way, way better. That's awesome. Am I an atheist? Absolutely not, man. I believe in God. There's no doubt in my mind that there is a God. There you go, Amacho. Quiet dad. Same as me. I think there are lots of bad parents in the world and not that much bad mothers in the world. Do you agree? Not that much bad mothers. I'll tell you something. I don't know. I'll probably not be 100% accurate with these stats. But something very extreme like this. You can look this up and you can let me know maybe while I'm saying this. 95% of all incarcerated people in America come from a single parent household where the single parent is a mother. So a fatherless family produces the most crime. So to your point, there's no bad mothers. I'm not disputing that. All I'm saying is a family without a father is more likely to produce a criminal that gets jailed. Then, in comparison, if you compare single-parent households where there is the father and there's no mother, it's something like 5%. It's something that black and white. So, and we all know how divorce rates and all that's going on. I'm not saying that is the only metric we should think about. But lots of people grow, obviously, if there's a divorce, women always get the kids, 95% of the time. But it's interesting when I saw that stat that 95% of all inmates in America have come from a mother-only household. Which is a really, really interesting thing. And I don't even know how to process all that, but it just goes to show you the power of having a father in the house and having that discipline, having that voice that you're scared of, I suppose. We all know the biological differences between men and women. My wife can yell and scream at the kids when they do something wrong. I'll look at them and they shit themselves. And I don't know whether that's a frequency thing of voice, whether that's something deeper, spiritual, but all I have to do is look at them and they can start crying. There's no violence. There's no violence. It's just maybe there's they can feel larger, deeper voice. I don't know what it is, but I felt the same way with my father. My mom could be yelling at me, telling me off, all this stuff. My dad comes home, just looks at me like this, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to die. That's the impact that I had. And that's that leadership that a man provides, just simply existing. But on the other side, what women provide is something that is irreplaceable. Without a mother, I don't even know how people, it's very hard to equate what's more important. But in my mind, if me and my missus broke up today, I wouldn't want to have the custody of the kids. I feel they need to be with their mother. It's a biological thing. Kids need to be with their mother more so than their father. They play a bigger role, especially in the early years. There's nothing I can do. When she walks in, her smell in the house, her presence, all the kids are happy and warm and safe and whatever. It's probably got something to do with them, breastfeeding and then carrying them for 9 months. breastfeeding them. The connection you have with your mother is unlike anything else. You know, so it's just a biological thing, you know. It's just your connection to your mother is unlike your connection to your father. It's just, that's the way it is. You know, you respect your father. He provides different things to you. But mum is mum, man. Mum is mum. Maybe that's a bit different because I'm a son, and you know I have that male perspective. Maybe daughters feel differently. I don't know, but I feel like the mum is the main piece of a family, without a doubt. You know, without her in here, then it's just a house. She's in here, it's a home. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I definitely do. Oh, sick. So the 6 is just in the garage chilling. I love that. I love that. My Evo 7, man, like it's I got it real cheap, man. It was like $9,000 6 years ago. Some guy was selling it. It was a weird story. Anyway, some guy didn't want it. He wanted to get rid of it. His cousin had it before. He went to the Navy. He got it for real cheap. He gave it to me for real cheap. Forged internals. There was a blown motor 5-6 years prior to that. Rebuilt motor. Forged internals. Different ECU, all these different things. I took it to an Evo specialist in Adelaide. He checked it over. He was like, yeah, man, we can fix this. There was an oil leak. Fixed all of this for a few grand, and basically I ended up getting this Evo for like 12 grand. Yeah, 12 and a half grand or something like that. The final thing was to get it on road and all good. And what I've done since is I put E85 in it. The diff was a little bit tricky down the track, so the rear diff was replaced. And then last year, second gear blew up on me. Funny story about that. I wasn't even flogging it, but the second year blew up, so I spent damn near four and a half grand I spent to rebuild the gearbox. And now I think what's happening with it is the clutch is letting go now. So it's I feel like every year there's like a big bill coming up. So I think the clutch needs to get done. I don't know what to do with the clutch. But yeah, it's an old car, man. It's 20 years old, man. Like, it's an old car, so I'll probably have to do something with it. It's still running the same turbo, same cam, same exhaust manifold. It's running 250 at the all wheels on E85. It's a nice car. It goes well. You know, but it's just so expensive, man. It's so expensive. But yeah, it's all about the pocket at the end of the day. It's a 2001. It's a Japanese import. It's 2001. 2001, I think, June. Evo 7, Mitsubishi. Yeah, gearbox is so expensive. And initially, when it blew up, I was like, oh, sick. Time to get a dog box. Went in there, I'm like talking about the dog box. He's like, yeah, 20 grand. I'm like, 20 grand for a gearbox? God damn, I can't afford that shit. So we just basically replaced the same thing. We just rebuilt it back to normal. But yeah, if you have cars are so expensive, man. So anyway, my thing was always like, as things break, I'll just replace them. I'll just put different things in it, like beef it up. But it's too expensive. I don't have the money. I'd love to have the money, to do it. But part of me was like, man, if instead of starting a squat every day, what if I started a car channel? Maybe, I could use some of these profits that I get. I could put it into the car or whatever. But I've had these types of thoughts to like maybe do something along those lines, introduce that into the channel somehow. But yeah, I don't know. It's very, very hard. It's very hard to fit all of this with 3 kids at home and all that stuff. Yeah, 20K. It's called a dog box. Dog box. It's like basically you don't even need to use the clutch. It's like race car stuff. But yeah, I thought about like the other last year really. I was thinking about like going in and I spoke to the mechanic and I was like, listen, man, like I'm thinking about the next step in the car. Cam, turbo, exhaust manifold, How much is that? He's like, oh, it's $5,000-$6,000 to do all that work. And I thought, man, would you be open for me to come in and record some of this stuff and put it up on the channel for the boys to see and see the process and include that into the channel as well. This is the Evo guy in Adelaide. He was like, oh, look, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And so then shortly after that, he recommended another shop for me to do that. So I emailed them and they never got back to me, and I never went in. And anyway, my missus was like, late pregnancy and whatever, and the baby happened and whatever. But like I've kind of had thoughts about making a video out of an upgrade. I don't know. I still might do that down the track. I don't know. Squat every day is going to be my number one passion, but like I'm thinking about, if I'm going to do the Evo upgrades and all that stuff and not record it, doesn't feel right. Like I want that memory. So I thought about doing that. I don't know, all sorts of different thoughts running through. Like I want to do all these things, but like no time. I'm still working at the hospital all this time, so it's like for me to do that, I need to book days off and be at the shop while they're doing the work, recording, all that stuff. Find the guy that's going to be happy with that recording. Yeah, anyway. Because I remember like years ago, before I even got into the YouTube thing, I was watching a lot of car videos. Lots and lots of car videos. I grew up a car guy. So I still got these channels that I don't really follow them anymore. I don't have a lot of time, but there's these channels I used to follow from back in the day, like, them taking you through the upgrades, going from shop to shop and then like, taking it to the track. I would love to do that. It's just so hard. You can't juggle everything at once. Evos are turbos. Yeah. Do you drift your Evo? Absolutely not. You would need to be a very, very good driver on a racetrack to be able to drift your Evo. And that's very expensive. Very expensive. Reaction videos. I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how people do that, make it happen, to do reaction videos. I've tried sitting in a squat for long periods of time. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, drifting an Evo is, you wouldn't get an Evo to do that. Unless it's on rally, I guess you can drift an Evo in a rally, but it's more like a power slide thing. It's not really drifting as like an S15 or a Skyline or whatever. Never used isometrics like that. How would I describe God? That's a heavy one. I need to be in the, that's a deep question right there. Do I use anything for assistance on lifts? No, not really. No, like in terms of gear, belts and things like that. No, I don't. I never really got into that. Carved log. Yeah, maybe we can make that happen. Raw as it gets. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'll probably watch the same guys you guys watch. It's the same circles, you know. I don't have a lot of time to watch stuff, but I watch all the same guys, man. Like Seeker Strength, Zach Tellender, Clarence Kennedy, Larry Wheels. Who else comes to mind? Boogs. Alex Leonidas, for sure. There's a whole stack of these guys. I've watched them for years. 4 years. Same old guys, always. Occasionally there's new people, but oh, see, when I do this, stretch out, oh man, cramps from neck all the way down. Oof. You're really busted when you do that. You can't even stretch properly without busting a muscle. The next squat PR. I don't know. In terms of a single, probably not in a while. I'm done with singles for a very long time now. I think I'm gonna keep pushing the 180, 4 plates. Keep pushing that shit. When I get to 180 for 20, then I'll think about it. But until then, I don't care. I'm extreme like that. The calculator says 180 for 20 equals to 300 kilos for 1. Highly doubtful, but let's work towards it. When I get to 180 for 20, then at least I'm in the vicinity of dreaming about 300. So if I can do 180 for 20, I reckon my squat is more than 212. We can all agree on that, right? If I get to 180 kg squat for 20 reps in a set, we can all agree on that my squat will be more than 212. For sure. Now, if we did a poll, whereabouts would you be? Some guy would say 230, some guy would say 250, some guy would say 270, maybe even someone says 300. The range becomes very, very, very wide. So in my mind, I'm like, cool, no worries. I like 4 plates. I like the way it sounds. I like the way it motivates me. It's manageable weight. It's not terrifying me. I'm sick and tired of thinking about progressing weight 1 kilo, 2 kilo, 3 kilo at a time. Nah. Let's work to something that makes sense to me right now. That's what makes sense to me. My body's going to respond really well to high reps. My hips feel good. My back feels good. All of that feels good. So let's use this year as an ultimate builder. 180 for 20 until the cows come home. That's what I got in my mind. Simple as that. I focus on things like this. I like to kind of stick with one thing. I think I did lots of singles, and I think I've proven to myself that I don't really do anything. Thanks, man. Georgie. Running some kind of periodization program. Can't do periodization, can't do programs. My life is shift work. Too out of control for me to fit that in properly and be happy with it. What's the plan? The hip pain returns. I doubt it's going to return. Usually it returns after this type of period. I've outlived it. Usually the pain hits really, really quickly. So I've gone way past. I'm hitting very, very hard squatting and no pain at all. So I reckon, don't want to jinx myself, But I reckon I've worked it out. I reckon. Why don't you use the 5x5, 3x10 method? Because I don't do drugs. Simply put. Mr. Power, I don't know what your level of understanding or expertise or training level is. But I think you're referring to what the Seeker boys did and Toshiki. I don't know how, like, I don't know if you understand the weight of that, like in terms of if that's possible. So 5x5, 5 times a day, 5 times a week, followed by 3x10. So you do a 5x5 and then do a 3x10 every single day. Tell me you do drugs without telling me you do drugs. If you think that's possible, then I guess show me the way. But that, my friend, is impossible to do every single day. It's impossible. At meaningful weights, right? At 80%. I doubt that is possible without drugs. So the original 5x5 programs were done 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, weekends off. And that's it. And that was considered very, very difficult. So much so that you would have periodization in it, right? So you start at 75% and then you have increment in weight over the next weeks. And then once you hit to like 85, 87%, you reset again, you go again. So it's very, very difficult. You can't do 80% 5x5 for months on end. It's impossible. So on top of that, you're saying 3x10 on top of that. That is an extraordinary amount of work, and only an enhanced athlete could recover from such work. It's impossible. Impossible. If you're using light weights, like 60% of your max, sure. Fuck, you can do an empty bar, 5x5, 3x10 every day. No worries. But when you say 5x5, what you're usually referring to is the golden region of training, which is 80%. Or 75 to 85% weight, right? That's what people assume. To do 5x5 and a 3x10 at the same time, not gonna work, man. Being stuck in a plateau, demoralization, man, that's fuel to me. You know, I've been stuck for some time, various different lifts. Just fuel to me. I don't know. I just think to myself, I'll prove you wrong. Not you, but me. I'll prove you wrong. I ain't going to give up. And I just keep doing it. And then, I mean, that's how I do it. That's how I process it. Because the harder the struggle, the sweeter the victory. Think about it. Think about that for a second. The harder the struggle, the sweeter the victory. So when you're in a plateau, all you're really doing is making that thing sweet at the end of the day. You're sweetening it up. That's all you're doing, man. That is all you're doing, my man. Yeah. Yeah, so Toshiki and Clarence did 5x5 and a 3x10, 1 minute rest. With a 1 minute rest. Oh, God. Delusional. 1 minute rest after doing a 5. So I've done 5x5 in the past, like way before the squat everyday journey. Starting strength 5x5, you know, I did that. 5x5 got to a point where it took me like an hour to get through, hour and a half to get through. I was taking like 15-minute breaks between these sets. 15-minute breaks. Doing an 85% 5x5 will take your soul. And you're telling me they were doing 1-minute breaks? Get out of here. Get out of here. All right, boys, 12:35. I gotta get moving. Gotta get moving. The food's settled. Let me go and have an easy session of squats and then go to work. Go to work. Yeah, today's gonna be an easier one. And then tomorrow again, man, it comes around quick. Another 180 M-rep. God, it's so intimidating to think about. But yeah, I'll have an easier one today, rest up, and then tomorrow I'll try 180. Let's see what happens. All I ever say to myself is I'll just do 180 for 5, and that's how I'm processing it. See what happens. All right, boys. Appreciate you, like always. Thank you for the support. You guys mean a lot to me. 40 of you blokes sitting around, chilling out with me while I had my fruit. It's really, really cool. I'm actually quite enjoying these lives. It's, just to let you know, back in the day, I used to sit in front of this computer with some food and answer comments. I'll spend like an hour and a half doing the comments. And then I got to a point where I was like, yeah, comments are great. I get to them when I can. But if I'm going to sit down for an hour and a half, I think this is more beneficial for everyone. So, appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right, let me get out of here. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.